right, so we got asked to do a really cool build. This is for a birthday present. She asked me if we could make him a guitar, a piece of wallet to hang on the wall. He's a huge Van Halen fan. And what we're gonna make is the Van Halen Frankenstein guitar all out of metal. And this thing is gonna rock, literally. We're gonna make this thing super cool. We're gonna add lights to this thing. We're gonna personalize it for them too. We're gonna add their initials. We're gonna add their anniversary dates, some little I love yous over there. So this is gonna be a really fun personal build, really unique. You can't get this anywhere. And I'm super excited to do something like this. This is what I love to do. This is the cool stuff that I like doing. Not all the other stuff and welding and boring stuff. This is what I really like to do. So this thing's gonna rock, I know it is. All right, but something to keep in mind when you're doing this. What I did, I got the guitar, I traced it out onto a piece of cardboard. And what that's gonna do, that's giving me all my measurements, okay? And whenever you're doing a build like this, people have an idea how big a guitar is. So it's really important to get something as close as you can to size whenever you're building something like this. And that's what to me is, when you see something like metal art and everything like that, you see the stuff that looks really good, and then you see the stuff that looks really, really good. And I think it's because they follow the sizes, because people know what it looks like. And I'm gonna show you how we do all this stuff. So we got started, and this is how it all starts, just with a plain old piece of cardboard, and we're gonna make all of our lines around this thing. So what we're doing right now, we tack some of this down. We got most of the shape out of it that I want. So this is tacked down the table. And now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start doing some heating and some bending with this thing. So right over here, you don't need a lot of heat. So what I'm gonna do, right over here, I'm gonna start to heat this up a little bit. And like I said, this is thin metal, so it doesn't need a lot. So right over here, I'm gonna get this nice and warm. And what this tool is right here, I don't know what the real name is for it, but I call it like a welder's wrench, just a little skeleton key looking thing. All I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna shape it. You know, I'm able to apply pressure right where I want. It's just like a weird looking wrench. So I'm gonna do that. Then I'm going to heat this up right over here, and I'm just going to keep bending. Now I'm going to come down over here, let that cool. I'm going to bend that in. Ah, there we go. There we go. All right. Okay, so the body's almost done. It's looking really good. And we're getting this thing really dead onto this thing, like over here. This thing fits almost perfect inside this thing. I mean, it's almost identical. And this is what makes the stuff look really good, because people know, especially guys that are big guitar fans, they know the shapes of this stuff. You're not gonna like fake them on anything. So I'm trying to get this thing as perfect as I possibly can for this guy. And then what we're gonna do next, we're gonna start working on the neck. And the neck's gonna be made out of this piece of steel right here, piece of 1/4 inch, because I don't want any flex going on with it. And we're gonna add a fretboard, we're gonna add all the strings, then we're gonna add the head. But on something like this, I've done one of these before, and in my opinion, it's always best to get started on the body. This is where everything takes shape from. So this is the most important thing to do a really, really, really good job on if you're ever gonna decide to make one of these things. So like I said, just take your time doing this, get all your bends right. It's tedious, it's annoying, but when you're all done, it is completely worth it, and it looks like a real guitar. And that's what it's gonna look like. People are gonna see this thing, and I want people to think like they can play it. That's how dead on accurate I'm trying to make this thing. So this is where it's all taking shape from, you know? I got my cardboard cut out, and I'm just gonna get all my measurements from this thing right here, and it's gonna be dead on. Okay, so right now, this thing is starting to look like a guitar, all right? We got the neck over here that we just cut out. The body's all done and ground down. And what we're gonna be working on next is the head, and that's this guy right here. That's what all the strings attached to. Okay, so the Frankenstein head is kind of a unique one. You know what I mean? It has a little round guy up there like that. The one that I traced out didn't, so I just kind of traced this off of Google, you know what I mean? And this is what it kind of looks like. So I'm pretty close to where I want to be. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to get this thing all set up. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to get the plasma cutter out. And we're going to plasma cut this thing out, grind it all down, get that on. And then we're going to do frets, and then we're going to do all the cool lines, which I can't wait to do, and add some lights. So, time to go. Okay, so this is all done. That's gonna get all ground down and put on just like that. Then we're gonna weld it, then we're gonna attach our strings and everything. And it's actually gonna when this is all done, it's gonna look like a guitar. So I'm really excited about this. So here we go. We're gonna have to get this thing all ground down, get it all figured out, get it all dialed in, and then boom, then we're gonna start welding this thing together. And then we're gonna start adding all the fun detail stuff. So we got the hard part almost done. That's just getting the frame done, getting our measurements right. And now we're going on to the fun stuff. So it's gonna look neat after this. Okay, so this thing is actually starting to look like the guitar. It's looking really cool. So the Frankenstein guitar has all these, it has a cool pattern. It's worn out. It has all these lines going through it. And that's what I'm gonna try to mimic down here. So all I'm doing, I'm just cutting little pieces of metal, and then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna weld them in to try to make it look all weird, and I'm trying to match them so it looks like the Frankenstein guitar. And then I'm gonna have some that bolt in that I'm gonna paint red, and a couple of them that I'm gonna have painted black, because that's the color, red, black, and white. And then what we got going on, this is gonna be the head right over here. That's gonna be put on just like this. That's gonna get welded on, and we're gonna have strings that you're able to actually tune this thing if you wanted to, with all this stuff going on right here. So there's a ton of detail going on in this thing, and it's really starting to come together. Like we're almost wrapped up with this. We're gonna have to finish polishing this thing up, and it's actually like when they see this, I know they're gonna freak. Like this is gonna be totally one of the coolest things I've ever made. I'm really excited about this. It's for a cool reason. It's gonna be an awesome present, and I can't wait to see this thing all wrapped up and finished. So here it is. All right, so here we go. This thing's almost done. It's almost complete. Like I said, detailed, detailed, detailed. And making this guitar, I realized why they call this thing Frankenstein, because I was looking at actual pictures of this thing, and it's an absolute mess, okay? But yeah, like I said, all this thing, totally detailed, almost ready for clear coat. We're gonna add the whammy bar on now. And like I said, we got a piece of rebar for that guy, and this is what I'm talking about. This is why detail and getting everything sized up is absolutely perfect. We're gonna have strings going through this thing, and you know, nobody's gonna question what guitar this is after we have all the LEDs in it too. So, right here, you know, looks pretty good. We're almost at the finish line. All right, so this thing is just about done. We got clear coat on it. We got all the little cool stuff going on over here. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna add the strings. And this is, like I said, if you guys look at this guitar right here, see that guy? And then you look at this one, it does look like a guitar. So, like I said, it's all about the details. So I found some cable over at Menards, and like I said, this is the little stuff that always makes it look like killer when you actually see things work, and that's what I love doing. So we're gonna run this through just like this. I put a little knot in it so it stops it. And then what we're gonna do, we're gonna run this up through that hole, and then I'm gonna be able to run it through this hole. And then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get this thing nice and tight and everything, and I'm gonna tighten that down so these things get nice and straight. And then at the final end, when it's all said and done, I got some chrome acorn nuts. They look cool. And these guys are gonna lock all that down together just like that. And there we go. So it's gonna look pretty neat when it's all said and done. We got the little phrase, we got their initials, we got their anniversary, and I like it. I really like it. I almost don't want to give it to them. So let's see what the face is like today. Okay, so we're just about done with this thing, and it's looking awesome. And now what I'm doing, I'm adding all the little personal touches to this thing, which really, I can have the best looking welds on this thing on the planet, but when you give something personal and they got little stuff like this is what like is gonna set the whole thing off. This is what makes it awesome. So Kathy over at Absolute Advertisement over here, she made me some awesome stuff. This is their saying. This is how I do it too. All I do, they print me out some stencils that I want done, and I talk to them, I tell them the idea that I'm thinking, and they figure out the font, they do all that stuff for me. They are awesome. So I'll leave you guys a little link in the bio for you and everything like that if you want to ever get in touch with them. Bill owns the place, awesome guy. Bill, thank you. Kathy, thank you. And here, so this is what we're doing. Over here, we are hooking this thing up, and this is the phrase they got. It's the I love you forever and a song with some tunes on it, and that's what she wanted. And we got their initials, and all I'm doing right now, I'm just getting this thing all ready for paint. And like I said, this is what matters right now. You know what I mean? I could have the best looking welds on this thing. This thing could be perfect in every which way, but with my knowledge, this is the stuff that matters. The little hints of detail that really make it special for them. So what I'm gonna do, the guitar is red and white and black. That's the theme of this guitar. So I'm gonna do all this stuff in red and white, and it's gonna look awesome. You know what I mean? I cannot wait to see this thing all done. I can't wait to see the faces when it's all done. We're gonna have a cool unveil of the new shop, and it's gonna look great. So, like I said, this is my favorite part. So right over here, we got so this is their initials right down here. And I told her, I'm like, hey, I want this thing to look like the Van Halen logo. Could you do something for me? And she was like, yeah, I can do something for you, you know? And I'm like, all right, cool, let me know. And then she comes back, and it's just, once you guys see this, it's incredible how good of a job they did. Incredible. You talk to somebody about something, and they're just like, yeah, no problem. Oh, where's it in my office? All right, so we're right here. So all we're doing now, we got all of our stickers down. All I'm gonna do, it's really important whenever you do this stuff, don't put a big, thick, heavy layer on, okay? Just do some dust, just like that, and just let it dry up. Give it a minute. Then we're gonna come right over here. I think I'm gonna go white with that one. We'll go white with that. Yeah, just give it some time. Don't put a big, thick layer of paint on there, otherwise it's gonna bubble up. And then over here, I'm gonna do this guy, cover that up. I think I'm gonna do that one. I think white's gonna be perfect for that. So this is the coolest guitar we made in a long time. This is the coolest build we did in a long time. I absolutely love this thing, tons of detail. All the guys at the shop nailed this thing. We added all their little, the little I love you thing that they want us to add, the Van Halen logo with their initials in it, their anniversary dates. This is the type of stuff I love to do. They're gonna love this thing, and I don't even want them to come here and pick it up because I like it so much. And last but not least, we topped this thing off with a really cool looking hanger so this thing could hang on the wall and look neat. And then we added a light to this thing to keep it looking really cool. So they're gonna love it. I can't wait for them to come here and pick this thing up.
I love that. That's an EDH guitar. What does that say?
WB.
Oh.
We tried to make it look like the Van Halen logo for you.
That's awesome. Have you ever made something like that for?
Oh, I do a couple of these guitars for people.
Do you really?
Like that. Yeah.
So
You know what I mean?
did she? She must have told you to play guitar.
No, yeah, no. She said you were huge. We tried so hard to make everything perfect for you.
That is awesome.
We tried to get in all the details for you. You know what I mean? Like you
love
would see
it.
this thing. Right,
It's
you'd be
so
like,
cool.
and here you could like grab it and hold it and everything like that. You know. She said you're a huge guitar fan and everything.
I am
man.
a huge guitar fan.
You know
So she
what
got
I'm
me a
saying?
guitar.
So-
Does it light up?
Go buy any color you want, man.
I didn't even
You know. I hope you guys like it.
I know, I saw it.
We're trying to make, you know, maybe some extra man all over here.
For sure.
Yeah, you know, when she said you wanted to take it
All
down.
in it. I saw that.
Yeah.